Live from Versailles, Kentucky at the Catfish Conference, Chuck Davis and Lyle Stokes, and we are going to start interviewing with the next group of people. I can hear it. Chuck, what do you think of the success rate we've had so far with today's event here?
I mean, it's very successful. I mean, it's 100% to me. I mean, from where they thought it was going to be to where it is, I think it's a huge success for everybody involved.
We had dinner. I made a trip back through the back, and I went back there and talked just briefly with Carl Morris. I talked with Mike Paul. I talked to Alex Nagy. I talked to Jason Rath and Josh Mays and just unbelievable amounts of people back there. All of the top vendors in the industry are back here. Well, I won't say all of them. I got to talk to the owner of Driftmaster Rod Holders, which I've known for years, supported his product. Never met the guy. Very nice. We had a great conversation. Everybody that is involved with the sport of catfishing is at the conference. This morning we was all slammed with people going in here, just numerous amounts of people, and then through noon it's slacked up a little bit, but I look for this afternoon to pick up for more of the same.
Oh yeah, there's people that I've seen messages on Facebook posts where people's on the way, they haven't got here yet. So
another thing is nobody expected this kind of turnout. There's guys that brought bunches and bunches and bunches of stuff to show and sell people, and they're sold out.
Right.
We knew that it was going to be something special, but we really didn't realize it was going to be this special. I know Dave Ashby has told me that it's just a steady flow. He's done very well. He thinks the conference is a great success. Larry Muse has been back there doing 1 or 2 seminars. Carl Morse has done seminars. Dave is doing the seminar on the live well deal. I don't know how many more of them is going, but they got a huge tent back there with chairs and the place is packed.
Yeah, some guys tried to get in there earlier and they said there wasn't even standing room. So, a lot of, you've heard the term standing room only. There wasn't even standing room earlier.
No, it was very, very condensed in there. And this is a tribute to what we've been saying. You and I have been talking about this for a long time. We need these type of events. We need the catfishing community to come together, stop all the bickering and arguing, and make the sport better for everyone. And this event has done that. If it didn't do anything else, people come in and everybody's here has had a great time. We visited with Ron Streeter's here with us right now. We visited with Ron, we visited with everybody, and the people that watch the shows come in and they talk to us about how they sit there and 30 guys at a time, they structure their lunch hour at work so they can all sit there and watch the show. That's very humbling to me. Just really amazing things that the catfishing world has to look forward to. I anticipate this event growing next year, being much larger than it is right now. All the people that are out of stuff or running low on stuff will have to prepare for a double-sized deal next year to be able to do it.
Right, and from everybody seeing how big a success this is, I see that the crowd even doubling next year because more people's going to be excited about it. They're not going to want to miss out. What I see is the big, the Ford and Chevy thing is going on, but in a positive way instead of the way it's been going for the previous years where it has really set the sport back big time.
And that's true. The arguing and fighting and the carrying on. We understand that things are not ever going to be perfect, but we got to work together to work it out and get along and make catfishing the best that we can make it. Fastest growing fishing sport in the industry. We are looking for big things, and if everybody will work together, we'll make this happen.
That's correct. The guys. Everything is to your preference. when it comes to a lot of the rod holder type stuff, and you've got the anchor type stuff. Most of them are built equally, material wise. It all has to do with preference, just like with the Lowrance Humminbird. Anything else, it's your preference. So, when you come to a deal like this, you're able to see and be able to, it's easier for you to see what your preference is.
That's right.
And everything's laid out on the table, and it's for you to make up your mind. You're not able to be on the water and put it to use, but it's a lot easier than ordering it over the internet, for one, not knowing exactly what you're going to get before you're even able to try to use it on the water.
That's right. And a lot of these people in here, if they don't have what you want, you can still get it, line it up, touch, feel, figure out what it is that you need to work for you, and then they can send it to you.
Right.
If they didn't, if things just overwhelm them like it did so many of us, that's still good. You can still get the rod you want. You can still get the hooks you want. If somebody's sold out on an anchor, whatever it is. I know I talked to Mike a while ago back at Never Snag, and he sold out.
Right.
He's got displays up there, but he's basically sold out. And I promise you, he never thought that would happen.
Right. And I mean, he's still got stuff back there for people to see. You can't sell them all, but I'm sure, when it's time for him to tear down the tables and it's time to go home, he'd be willing to sell them.
Oh, absolutely.
But
absolutely.
Everything's just been going so smooth. Everybody's cutting up, getting along. And I think that, the product factor has been a real success. We've seen things where, people hadn't been able to see a lot of this stuff, been able to touch it. I've seen product back there that I didn't even know that people had. So it's been very interesting walking through and seeing what everybody's got.
We're going to get some of the good people in our sport to come in here right now. We have Joe Lucky and his wife and 2 little girls. I'm getting them all tuned up with some fresh candy so they can be on the show, and we're going to have a great interview here. Y'all come on in and sit down. Jeanette. How are you?
Good.
Do you like to catfish with your dad? What's your name?
Nancy.
Man. How you liking that candy?
Okay.
All right.
What do you
All
think?
What do you think about our Catfish Conference? Is it busy? It is busy. Have you seen everything? Now, for those that don't know, this is Jerry Klein II's niece. And have you been back there keeping Jerry in line?
Yeah.
That took you a long time to decide that. So I know that was a pretty tough question for you. So, well, that's good. Joe, thank you so much for bringing your family on Catfish Week with Janelle. Thank you so much. How are you guys doing over there?
Good.
Good? Good? You guys are a family in the catfishing community, and I know you're aware of this, but our viewers probably doesn't realize that Jerry's dad and his brothers and your adopted family with Bill Parfit and Jason Rapp, you guys are all a catfishing community out of Springfield, Illinois, and you travel extensively to a lot of tournaments too. And when you're gone, Janelle sits back with the kids and makes sure the household stuff is run right. We're going to do a show the 7th on how the women support their tournament husbands. And, I've got a feeling there'll be more of those to come. So we'll keep you in mind to do one with us. I think that's a subject that people have forgotten of what the rest of the family goes to us that do go all over the place.
Absolutely.
I think it is a wonderful thing. Now, you traditionally are from Springfield, and you fish a lot of the Lake Springfield tournaments. Now, you also fish some other tournaments on a fairly regular basis, and the ones that Tommy and Timmy Walsh run. Could you talk about those a little bit?
Yeah, they're a great tournament trail, Lyle. It's on the Illinois River. It's called the Tri-County Catfish Tournament Trail. It's a growing trail. They've been fortunate to land some big sponsors to train. Catfishing as a whole, obviously, I think witnessed by the conference here, is really up and coming. And I think everybody is trying to do a lot to get the kids involved. Obviously, I'm blessed with a great wife that allows me to pursue my passion of catfishing, and we try to get the girls involved. And that's a great trail. Twisted Cats is another trail that I fish, try to spend some time fishing. And then with that, I'm somewhat competitive, so I spend a day or two usually pre-fishing or try to. So you're right, the fishing's very important, but I do truly value and appreciate being blessed with a wife like I have and a family that I have that appreciate the passion I have for catfishing. And then when you get an opportunity, a great opportunity like this, to actually bring the whole family, and the girls and my wife spent time swimming in the hotel this morning and hanging out in the pool, and when you can actually bring the whole family along, this is what it's all about.
Absolutely. And this is from what we're talking about, and Chuck and I have talked about this for some time, and I'm sure Chuck's going to sneak in here and get with you about some questions in a minute, but this started out just a few months ago that we was going to do this conference. And when they called me about it, I said, absolutely, we're in. This is what we need to work towards to make catfishing's image grow.
Absolutely.
And from my look on it, it's a huge success. I just think that this is one of the greatest events that catfishing has had to date.
I agree. I didn't know what to expect. Obviously, the promotion of Catfish Weekly, and I think the internet and Facebook certainly helped a lot. But I mean, going around, and what I love, there are so many vendors here, and talking to all the vendors, I think everybody's almost sold out of stock, and this is a big deal.
It really is.
It's awesome.
Now, Jerry and you guys brought up a bunch of rods and stuff, and you're pretty much sold out on.
We are. It was funny. I think the show opened at 9 o'clock. Am I right?
Yep.
And I think one of the lines, we were sold out of rods by 9 o'clock. I don't know how that could happen.
Well, they got in a little bit early, but now people, we're talking about Tangle with Catfish stuff. Jerry and Joe and they brought Jason Rath and Mr. Mays,
Josh
Mays brought all these guys in here to help them do all this stuff. And the doors open for the Catfish Conference at 9 o'clock. And there was some people that actually come in a little early to look around, and they had sold one line of rods completely out by 9 o'clock when the show started. So
that's crazy.
It is. You open at 9 o'clock and you're sold out at 9 o'clock. There's something about it's a good thing. But then I don't think anybody expected it. I don't think you guys did. I know I didn't.
Probably not, Lyle. Probably not prepared. I think we all had high hopes, and I think it exceeded everyone's expectations and hopes. So
well, and a lot of times, we all hope high, and then our hopes we don't fulfill them. Well, they're fulfilled many times over this time.
Absolutely.
And one of the more impressive things is, I have seen no frowns, no arguments. Everybody is just as thrilled to see the next guy that walks through the door as they are the last guy that they see.
Right.
And it's been an event they put on here. Guys that worked really hard. I was in here yesterday. I'm not sure if you was here yesterday or not, but they was running around here just wide open, and they busted it to make this what it is, and it's a success.
It is, and I think the thing I love about catfishing, like you said, we all on weekends compete against each other. We're all. It's different than some of the other species of fish where we're all very competitive, but we're all happy for the other fish secrets and all the new people getting into the sport and catfishing. It's unlike bass or crappie. Everybody's here to help them and beat the learning curve. And catfishing, anybody can kind of get it started in the sport, and you have a lot of people wanting to help everybody and help you get way ahead of the learning curve. So it's definitely an up and coming sport. And anybody looking for something fun to do, you can get started at a reasonable amount. It's a great hobby. Great time to spend time with family, and I'm super excited about the future of catfishing.
Oh, me too. It's been really good, and something that other people doesn't realize. You probably get tired of Joe getting all the phone calls, but when we get into a position where I need opinions, I call Joe up. I'm liable to call Jerry up. I'll call guys in Kansas City up, and usually they'll all come up with a similar answer that I'm looking for. And it may not be the way I think, but I know that I'm getting an honest opinion and things. These are what people believe in their heart is right, and that's why I've used them venues. And you know that when I call Joe up, I know, Joe, I need your opinion on this. I know I'm going to get an honest answer.
That's how I know season is coming. the
phone
calls
lights
are-
up. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you're right about that. Pretty sure you're right about that. So, is there any point in time when you're going to be fishing tournaments with them?
I don't know about that. I enjoy fishing, but I say, like, you guys are a bit extreme for me because it's so long. I would enjoy a 3 or 4 hour outing. I don't know if I could do the 8 hour, 12 hour. Maybe. Not
Right.
yet.
Well,
If you could shorten it, I mean, I love the water. I love being on a boat.
That's something maybe some of the tournament directors ought to look into is a family-oriented 4-hour tournament. Now, I know for sure around Ashland, over by Jeff City in Columbia, they have 4-hour tournaments over there because a lot of the guys that belong to their club are my age or a little past, and they don't want to be on the water for 8 hours.
Yeah.
That's an interesting concept, and if that would bring you and the girls into the sport, I would back that 100%.
Me too.
And so you got the perfect place to do it, Springfield Lake.
Yep.
You got blues, you got flatheads, but you got one of the greatest channel cat fisheries in our immediate area.
Absolutely. And our oldest daughter, Mariah, your event, the Twisted Cats event, the Jack and Jill, that's an awesome event. That's a family event. And,
we were so happy you brought her up there. What a sweet young lady.
Thank you. And we're really proud of her. And that was a great day. And that's what it's about. That's what we love about it.
I can't let this go. I've got to do it. Being a Cubs fan and your daughter working for the St. Louis Cardinals, how much better can that possibly be?
Yeah, I have no comment.
Oh man, when that come public, I'm telling you, I thought I was gonna fall out of my chair. But
I did too.
She's the perfect person for that job, but it wouldn't matter if she was working for the St. Louis Cardinals or Chicago Cubs or the New Orleans Saints. It wouldn't matter.
That's right.
She's going to succeed. She's going to do well, and she's an outstanding young lady. And go Cardinals.
Go Cubs.
Well, listen, I appreciate you bringing your family up here and spending some time with us.
Thank you for having
And
us.
we would love to have you guys on as a family unit on a weekly night show sometime, if that would be all right. We'll get you all set up, and we'll try to make that happen.
Awesome.
And you can go catch some fish and take some pictures, and we'll have you with them on there. How'd that be?
That sound fun?
Good.
All right. Well, thank you for spending.
Thank you so much.
All right, Joe. We'll be talking to you soon.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Bye, girls.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty. The Joe Lucky family, cat fishermen and ladies from Springfield, Illinois. What a great family. And, you guys know that Joe and I was kidding about the Cubs thing, but he is a diehard Cubs fan, and his daughter took a job for the Cardinals, and I've been writing him about that a little bit, but he's a really, really good guy, and the whole family is outstanding. And his brother owns Tangling for catfish stuff, and they've had a great day here at the Catfish Conference. So if you guys happen to stop in, make sure you go back there and see Jason Rath and Josh Mays and Joe Lucky and Jerry Klein II. They will be glad to talk to you about their products, and they probably got some T-shirts and hats and stuff.
I think I seen something back there when I walked through.
Yeah. Do you know what the guys from Catfish is?
The what?
He's standing. He's coming in. We're going to do an interview with him. We got, for those of you that watch videos online, there is a video series called Catfish and Carp. correct?
Yeah, catfish and carp. Yeah,
Catfish and carp, and you've been doing videos for how long?
about a little over 2 years now.
I have watched a lot of them. You've got a number of videos out there.
Yeah, I got about 180 videos right now.
And they entail everything from equipment to fishing and baits and taking your on the pontoon boat and fishing, which those are very dear to me. Now, I'm sorry, but you need to introduce yourself to us and tell us about you.
Well, my name is Luke Nichols. I was born and raised in Anchorage, Alaska. I spent most of my life living up in Alaska, and came down to the lower 48 to meet girls, and because we don't have a lot of those up in Alaska. And a wonderful woman, been married for about 14 years, got 2 young boys, and I'm a criminal defense attorney out in Northern Virginia now. So, but I really like big fish, and I like things that pull my drag, and so I go out for a lot of catfish and carp. So.
Well, we were really glad that you come down here. I didn't know that you was coming. I had a pretty good idea of a lot of guys that was going to be here, but then there's a lot that showed up that we didn't know about. Chuck, have you seen any of his videos?
I've seen a few.
They're pretty good. They're very interesting, entertaining. He has some good knowledge on them, and specifically the ones that stick to my mind are the different types of bait that he uses to catch channel cat.
Yeah.
You know, most tournament guys think, well, you know, blues don't bite on that. Well, sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. But channel cat is a very versatile fish, and one day you'll catch them on a hot dog, and the next day you'll have a Jello hot dog, and it'll work for that.
Yeah.
The next day it'll be shad or bluegill or worms or whatever it is, and a lot of times you can catch it on all of them.
And carp bait works really well. What I found is that with carp fishing and catfishing, it's one and the same. I just recently broke my personal best channel catfish at 23 pounds. I caught it on a number 6 hook with 2 pieces of rubber fake corn using breadcrumbs, Jello, and sweet corn. Classic carp bait. I was catching 20-pound carp, and I often catch fish. I caught myself a nice little blue, and then I caught a 23-pound channel catfish, and that's common. My best flathead, 53 pounds, was caught on a mulberry flavored boilie, which is a European carp bait. So a number 4 hook, and a hook about that big, and a bait the size of a marble. Caught a 53-pound flathead. Yeah, it's a little unusual. Live bait, I think, is the best for flatheads and stuff. But you go out carp fishing and you catch a nice fish. So like chumming with feed corn is a strategy I love to use, and it's great for carp. It's great for channel cats. Corn you get when hunting season, boil it up till it's soft, chuck it out there, and then put some feed corn on a hair rig, number 4 hook, number 6 hook, and you'll slaughter 5-8 pound channel catfish all day long on that. And you'll get them.
Is that a legal thing in the state of Virginia?
Yeah, chumming's legal in Virginia. Now, some states don't allow chumming,
Right.
but we've got techniques for that. So there's a thing called a pack bait, which is a very common tactic for carp fishing. You pack the bait around your lead, chuck that out there, and then that ball of bait slowly breaks down, and then your hook bait is right there in the pile. And that's not technically chumming because it's on your line when you cast it out. And so, there's things you can do, little chumming techniques like that, which are kind of gray area, but a lot of carp techniques work great for catfish.
You know, I watched some of your videos. Like I say, I was telling you earlier, a lot of my work I get done at night because I spend so much time online answering questions and talking to people on the phone, and you know, it just absorbs so much time that I get most of my actual work done late at night. So I turn the screen around and I'll turn videos and stuff on. And I watched you catch some really nice flatheads in a couple of videos the other day. Now, Chuck and I talk about flatheads a lot. To me, they're the king of catfish. They're a little bit elusive. They're great fun to catch, but as a tournament fisherman in our area, I know for us to do good in a tournament, you can't depend on that flathead bite. You got to go after the blues because there's many more of them. Now, the particular video that I remember is you and your son was out and you're on a pontoon and you're showing people how to catch the bait and keep it in the live well and all the stuff, and then you put some really nice fish in the boat. And we're talking about daytime. A lot of people think that flatheads is strictly a nighttime fish, and that's not the case.
No. Yeah, well, they're just like me. They get hungry all the time. Yeah. the day and whatever. But especially as that weather gets cooler, I think it's all temperature related. Is my personal opinion. I think when it's really hot, they hunker down and daylight. They avoid the daylight. But you watch the bait fish and how the bait fish are moving. And in the summertime, as soon as that sun hits, the bait fish seem to come out of nowhere, and you can hear the bait fish on top of the water, and you can hear things break in the water. Then in the fall, you get that more and more in the middle of the day. And so as the bait fish seem to come out more in the middle of the day, I think the flatheads do. So spring and fall, I think daytime's just fine. And wintertime, of course, daytime I think is better. But that's just me. And then, of course, there's always that one fish that does whatever the heck he wants, whenever he wants.
You get a rogue with any breed of anything.
Yeah.
You get a rogue. We got Chuck. He's kind of a rogue. You got some questions for him, Chuck?
Yeah. Do you do a whole lot of fishing for blue cats?
Yeah, blue cats are probably the most prevalent in Virginia, so I do a lot of that. But I live on a reservoir in Virginia that's got some flatheads. So we don't get a lot of flatheads in Virginia. The state record's 66 pounds. So they're not really a huge species in Virginia or a prevalent species, but I just happen to be near one of those places that's good for flatheads. So but probably most of my catfish is channels or blues. So.
Okay. So with doing all your research for carp bait and everything, and the Europeans and it's coming over this way, the amino acids and stuff. Have you been studying into that, trying to use the amino acids?
Sure, they have a whole bunch of different ones that work good, but I think those only really matter with chums. If you're not chumming, I don't think it makes too much of a difference, because with the amino acids in these bite enhancers, things that make the fish hungry, make them want to feed more aggressively, it only takes effect if the fish has been eating it. It takes a while for the amino acids and stuff like that to trigger more feeding and stuff like that. So I think with chums, it works really well. You get a fish seeing a lot out of it, but I don't know if it makes a big difference on hook baits. I mean, if you just got one bait and you're not chumming, just give them what they're eating naturally anyways, what they're used to seeing it. But that's just my thoughts.
Right. So you haven't seen you use a hook bait and seen them go into a type of a little feeding frenzy after using an amino acid type.
Well, maybe I'm not on the same page with the amino acids. Like in carp fishing, we've got a lot of these chemical feed enhancers they use in the boilies and the carp baits.
Right.
The same thing they put in cattle feed to make the cattle want to eat more, so that they put on weight before slaughter.
Right.
The things that they do that. So those, and I think they're amino acid based, and there's a bunch of different chemicals they use. I've seen people use it. I haven't used them tons, but because they're expensive, but I do more do-it-yourself stuff like the feed corn. But my understanding has been that they work really good for chums because they get the fish feeding more aggressively. You can build it up over time, but if I've just got one thing I'm putting on my hook, I go natural. So
because a lot of the guys that in Europe, they're using the ones that are supposed to get a fish. They call it like snapping at the bait. So they'll get a whiff of amino acids, and it's something that their body really needs more of to grow. So even though that there's a cold front, or it might not be time for them to feed, by them getting some of that amino acids, they may want to eat it anyway because their body's telling them they need it, not because they're hungry, but because they need it.
Yeah, but those European pains over there, they've got a real different style, because like if you want to fish over in Europe, for instance, you it's not public water, it's almost all paid lakes, so you go there, you pay a ticket, and there's a lake, and there's a like 20 docks on the lake, and you get dock number 15, and that's your spot. And so that's it. You can't just go around and pick wherever you like. You rent a spot on the lake, and that's your spot for a week or half a day. So they'll sit there and chum that spot and try to build the fish in there, get them feeding in that area, and they'll build it up over a couple of days, and you got to fish it. So in America, we go around chasing the fish, and in Europe, they try to draw the fish into them because they can't move around as much. So chumming campaigns are a big deal over there, and I've seen them use a lot of the chemicals like betamine and different feeding triggers. but they're almost always using them in part of a chumming campaign.
Okay.
But you know, who knows? You know, maybe putting it just on a hook bait is the way to do it. A lot of people will take raw betamine or amino acids and they'll just dip the bait straight in. They'll have a little pot of it and just dunk it in before they cast out. So, yeah.
What do you think of the first annual Catfish Conference?
I was fabulous. I knew it was going to be a success, but I think it exceeded expectations here. Yeah.
We did, and you drove in from Virginia.
Yeah.
And there's several people from your area that showed up.
Yeah, I saw some guys from Arizona. I saw some guys from New York and New Jersey. I met a couple other people from Virginia. You know, Chris Flores came in from New Mexico. So, yeah,
huge success.
Yeah, I think so. I think nobody could argue otherwise. So.
Well, we appreciate you coming up and spending some time with us and talking about your videos and stuff. And if you'd like to tell everybody how they can watch them, because I don't remember, I've got it saved on my computer, but that's not going to help me. And that way they can go and enjoy those the same as the rest of us.
Sure. The YouTube channel is Catfish and Carp, and my website is www.catsandcarp.com.
That's awesome. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for your
time. We're looking forward to talking with you again.
All right. My pleasure.
Right. Thank you.
Bye.
Go on, Mark. You can't. Now, guys would tell you that everybody in the world doesn't come on your show to visit with you, and I'm here to tell you that we've got Ken Luttrell from Fat Boys Custom Rods, and we're not going to sit here and bang at each other. We talk quite a bit. At an event we go to, we call each other on the phone, and nobody's ever got a crossword.
That's right.
We appreciate what the other guy does, and that's how it's supposed to be.
That's exactly right.
Thank you for joining us today, Ken.
No problem.
Chuck, are you familiar with Ken and his stuff?
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of his stuff. I've been on the website and looked.
Have you ever seen him in a tournament?
No, I don't.
Dude, he's ruthless. I mean, he'll take your money and make you like it.
Every once in a while, I get lucky every once in a while.
We fished with Ken over in Meridosha, was it? Where all of us went down to Illinois. No, it wasn't Meridosha.
That was that would have been
Havana.
Havana, wouldn't it?
Havana. Yeah, Twisted Cat tournament, and we all went an hour by my boat. That one direction, and there was 4 or 5 of us fishing together. He come in with some giant flatheads that day, just monsters. And I was on big fish about a huge rock. There was 3 fish, and I worked them things and worked them, and they picked that bait up, take off, and spit it out before you get it. And he set up there, what, a half mile above us or something?
I went all the way to the top side of Meridosha Dam, and I sat right up on the buoy as far as you could go, and I fished the face of that dam. And to tell you what, that was the first time that I'd had that new Sea Arc in the water, and I did not know how far it would go on a tank of gas.
So you was a little shaky on that.
Well, it was a little more than a little shaky. We caught those fish early, and we said, well, I don't think we can better it, so we better run back and get close. Out. I mean, there wasn't nothing left. It was dry. And we had a buddy come down, and he said, do you got the winning fish? And I said, well, I think so. And he goes, well, I ain't doing no good. I'll come and I'll pull you back. So he pulled me up within 20 yards of the boat ramp, and I sat right there and fished the rest of the day for the last 2 hours.
That's good. But that's, and I tell people this all the time, that's the difference between catfishing people and other sport fishing people. You're not going to tell me them bass guys in a tournament thinking they got first place. The other guy's probably not going to pull you in.
Right. Yeah.
We pulled in Anthony Maggart last year at the tournament. You know, and he would have had the winning fish. I just didn't have the boat to get in there quick enough to make it. We missed about like 2 minutes.
Right.
And it happens.
Well,
but,
I'll tell
you know, you got to take the guy. You can't leave him sit on the Mississippi River.
Yeah, you make friends with the catfishermen in this tournament series, any of them. And I'm telling you what, 98% of them, they're all good guys. And if you make friends with them, you've made friends for life.
That's right. And you go to a lot of tournaments, as do we do, and when you show up, people are happy to see you.
Yep.
You know, they want to sit around and shoot the bull with you and talk about what you've done all summer or all winter. And it's just it's a really good time. We had a great visit yesterday afternoon out in the back.
Right.
We talked for several hours, you and Cindy, your brother, and we had a really good time. And you know, I hope you guys had a successful time. This has been a great event.
Yes. Yeah, this has been really great. I mean, a good turnout. I mean, I've asked a lot of people, you know, where they're from and if they thought it was worth the drive, and I did not get one bad answer. I mean, everybody said yes, and I would drive it again, you know, as long as it keeps going.
And I think that it will. I do think that they're going to have to expand because this one has been such a success. I don't see how it could go down.
Right. No, it can only go up from here.
Yeah.
And
If everybody stays positive and not start all that product victoring and starting a bunch of drama and stuff.
Right.
And it's usually the same group of guys that always want to start trouble. And but the rest of the community don't have any problems with each other, and as long as it stays that way, it can only get better and better and better.
Right. And me personally, I'm not big on product bashing. You know, somebody that's going to buy Lyle's rod's not going to buy mine. I mean, I'm going to pick up what he don't sell. You know, different guys like different stuff, you know.
Yeah, and
It's problem preference.
Yes.
being a few years older than you are, I'm probably going to quit before you do. I'm just going to shove it.
There, you can do that. You can just push it all over.
Someday I'm going to quit doing it. I've
Yeah.
been doing it a long time, but
Yeah.
I still enjoy it. But,
Well, you know, we've been doing it for 10 years now. We've had a good run. We got a lot of rods out there, and more to come.
and I've followed you guys probably maybe not quite from the time that you started doing it, but pretty close.
Right.
You know, I knew about the time that you guys got rolling in it and seen how you started, and we've talked about on the phone. I even talked about things that different ways of doing stuff as we did yesterday.
Right.
And things, and that's how people should work together to try to make it all good. Because let's face it, there's plenty for everybody.
Well, it's just like catfishing. If you don't ask a question, you're not going to learn.
That's exactly right.
You know, if there's something that you don't know about, you need to ask so you can be more informed on what's going on or how to make those big fish.
I agree. And like I say, the whole catfishing industry is growing, it's expanding, and we're changing the image now on it. You know, you're wearing your shirts, and Chuck's got his on, and we've got ours on.
Right.
And when you go to these places, you don't look like the old boy that's sticking his hand in the log to pull fish out of
That's
it. You're
exactly
looking like the part that we need to play for the sport to grow.
That's right. And me, I've been fortunate enough. I have a great group of guys that represent, and you know, like I tell everybody asks me, how do you keep such a good pro staff? And I tell them, you know, most of them guys that's wearing my shirts are like family to me.
That's right.
And they're all guys that I've met down the road, and they're all good people. And you know, they would stop, drop anything to help a guy if he needed some
That's
help.
right. And you know, I feel
Even
the
if
same way.
even if he had a good bag of fish, he'd still stop to help you.
Oh yeah. They're the guys that you got, and I know most all of them. There's a couple of them that I know who they are, but I don't know them
Personally.
But you know, I feel the same way about Justin Wolf and Jason Mathena and his mother and Chuck and all these guys. You know, they're part of it.
Right. That's right.
They're part of us. And Jason Jackson, you know, Jason works a full-time job. He guides, and you know, just a great kid. He's people think Jason's 40 years old. He's not. He's just a kid.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and he's done great things for the sport. Caught a lot of good fish over the years. But you know, Carl Morse, there's not a better person in the catfishing industry than Carl Morse.
That's exactly right. And you know, me and him met. You know, we met 4 or 5 years ago at a tournament, and you know, we just kind of hit it off. You know, we was good friends. You know, we was competing, we was fighting back and forth for the classic championship that year, and he, you know, I bombed the second day, and then he's been fishing for me ever since. You know, and it's really worked out great.
And not only that, not only is he a great person, he's an ambassador
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
He's a really good
And
guy.
you know, if anybody was to ask him, you know, if they needed to know anything, all they got to do is ask him, and he'll tell them.
He'll tell you anything he knows, and is happy to do so. He may not give you an exact hole to fish,
Right.
but if you say, "Well, you fishing structure?" Yeah, I was fishing structure. Was you fishing trees? Yeah, I was fishing trees. Or no, I was fishing rods. You know, he's just that way.
And he'll give you a range of depth of water where he's at.
Sure will.
And I mean, you can put the pieces, if you're smart enough to listen, to put the pieces together, then that will give you all the keys to the pie.
That's exactly right. He's just an outstanding guy, and I just think the world of Carl. And I know that you're very proud to have him and all the other guys you got. Because, like I say, I know most of them, but I don't really know them all. And Kenny, I can't think of his name now. Drives the truck.
Kenny Bubba Smith.
Bubba Smith. He is a character in himself.
Yes, he is. He's been back there doing a good job all day selling rods, and
He's a great guy.
phenomenal.
He is as much fun as you can have not fishing.
To tell you the truth, if you didn't talk to him today, you didn't walk by my booth.
I bet that's right.
Because he talked to every guy and shook his hand and asked him where he was from.
Yep.
Every guy that walked by the booth.
You can't beat a deal like
No,
that.
no. They're just really, really good friends, and they'll do anything for you.
And that's the kind of people that we need. You and I need. Catfishing needs, and everybody.
That's right. They represent our sport very well.
Kenny, thank you for taking time to visit with Chuck and I. I'll be seeing you down the road, if not later on tonight. And thanks again for being on Catfish Weekend.
I appreciate it, Bob.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chuck.
Thanks for being on, man.
Thank
Kenny
you.
Luttrell from Fat Boys Rods. He took a little time out of his busy day to sit here and visit with you. And, Kenny makes a great product. If you guys get a chance to check his stuff out, you'll be very happy with what you see. He does a good job. Now, we have Brad Kilpatrick from Kansas City Catfish on. We haven't had Brad on the show for a long time, and we need to pick up from where we left off on what's new with Kansas City Catfish.
Oh man, what's not new?
Everything. You guys are going to town, aren't you?
Well, we're getting ready to kick her off. Have a tournament,
Thank you, guys.
season opener in Warsaw, Lake of the Ozarks, Truman Lake here in a couple of weeks. So that's always a fun one we look forward to.
That's
What kind of drive did you have?
Huh?
What kind of drive did you have getting out here?
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
He's a
we
little.
Like
left my house at 5 a.m. We arrived here at 6 p.m. Now we took.
right.
There's no rush, but it was a haul.
It is a haul.
But I think it was all worth it. I mean, Steve's done
yes.
a great job with this.
Outstanding.
It's been a great day. I mean, I've got to meet a lot of guys that I've been wanting to meet for a long time, and surprising number of people that are stopping me and, hey, Brad,
And they know you.
yeah, it's incredible.
They know you. It's just like they know you forever.
Yeah, we've been having a really good time out here.
No further apart than you and I are. We really don't see each other but a couple times a year.
That's about it.
And it's busy schedules and different venues that we all go to. But, I'm excited about this upcoming year you got going. You put together a big tournament up at Brunswick, and I think that is going to be a huge event.
Boy, we're hoping so. We're working our little tails off on that, and we're not done. I mean, we got some irons in the fire right now. I'm hoping the next week or two to make a big announcement about the Brunswick tournament. We're working on getting some people in there, so that's going to be a big one for us. It always has been.
Well, your openers is traditionally a big event every year.
Yeah, that's always big.
This Brunswick, and a lot of people are afraid to fish the Missouri River at night, and rightfully so. You have to remember, but I'm not going to sit here and tell people that it's impossible to fish that at night because I've done it, and you have done it.
It never really occurred to us. We started reaching out to some of the catfishing community, especially to the east and south of us, and going, look, we got the boat numbers, we got the money, we got the sponsors, we got the organization. Where are you guys at?
Yeah, let's make it happen.
And they're like, well, it's at night. Okay, yeah, it's at night. Well, where I'm from, catfishing in the middle of summer happens at night.
because it's hot and it's humid and it's miserable.
And that's just when we do it. That's when we
right.
do our thing. And it never occurred to us that the guys east of us and the guys south of us, they didn't go out at night like we did. I mean, who would have known?
A lot of people just and I think a lot of it, and I don't know this for sure, but my opinion is a lot of it is people are afraid of the big rivers. They're not used to the country.
No.
And they're not used to the wing dive numbers that we have and all of the other things. But if you go up there in the daytime and you stay out of trouble, I don't know a GPS unit yet that does not leave a trail. If you don't vary off of that terribly far, you're going to be all right. Nobody's telling you to run wide open in the middle of the night.
There's a 35-mile-an-hour speed after dark in the state of Missouri anyhow.
There should be. It maybe should be less.
And I made the point of saying, guys, 30 miles an hour after dark. What's the speed limit after dark? 35 miles an hour. About 5 or 6 times. And I said, okay, everybody know what the speed limit is after dark? And everybody out in the crowd, yes, sir. Good, because it's going to come up on the polygraph.
And it should. Maybe it should.
I got to slow you down. We got to be safe. I mean,
and you know as well as I do, a lot of these guys have got boats that run 60+ mile an hour.
we got them.
We do have them. And some of them guys are going to run 60 mile an hour no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you can't see everything at night.
No,
period. So
you got to
gotta
slow
use
down.
yeah, you got to use your head and be safe. You not only don't want to tear up your equipment, you don't want to hurt somebody else and make thing like that.
One person has an accident, everybody had a bad day.
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
You know,
and
that's
the
the way
one
it
point about it, you know, the GPS is now there. It don't matter how dim you got them, it's still going to alter your night vision. You look down at the screen, then you look back up, okay? And other people's boat is not on your GPS. They don't have radar. So, you know, you don't know what, if you're looking down and you're following your GPS, you're not going to hit the bank, but you don't know who's in the river in front of you. You know, and that's good for the 35 miles. I wish Alabama had that. That may be something that we need to push for safety concerns. But I mean, you could also add to that. I mean, you could say, look, you know, our tournament's not going to run over 25. Even though the state's 35, we're going to be better than that. I mean, that's great that you push that and make sure everybody's safe, because if everybody don't make it back to that weigh-in, you're right. Nobody had a good time.
Nobody had a good day. We've put boats in the water unfortunately. You know, we've had boats go down in our tournaments before. It's no fun.
No,
And you know, it happens and it's gonna happen.
it's part of it.
But we try to make every precaution to keep that from happening. I mean, this is my 10th year. This isn't my first rodeo.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and I feel that we've done a really good job of being safe. And I'm proud of that fact. But boy, we still stress it.
It can't be
Still go
because of somebody's stupidity that's going to run everybody's day. Accidents happen, but it can't be because somebody wasn't using their head.
Well, bringing that up repetitively is what gives you that good record, because you at least make the effort to let everybody know, hey, you're not supposed to do that, so just don't do it.
Now, you know, we've always made a point of being above board with everything that we've done. You know, when it comes down to, it doesn't matter. You know, having the permits and having the certified scales and
you
doing
gotta do
everything
all
that
that.
we're supposed to do.
I mean, your trail is setting the standards for a lot of the national trails. And when we have them guys on the show and stuff, we use your trail for the example most of the time and say, look, there's a trail, a local trail that going on. Why can't the national trails do this? And,
You know, we talked about Kansas City catfish a lot on our shows. And you guys put out the effort to make sure these fish are kept alive and kept in the best possible condition before releasing that you can. And to my knowledge, you had the best system put in place before anybody else did, at least a system of that quality.
Yeah.
And have pushed for that with a lot of us for a long time. And the tank that you have is portable, and it works extremely well. It has oxygen, it has everything that these fish need. And when you turn the fish back loose, most of them are better than they was when you put them in.
I guarantee you that. I have to get them out of there.
Right.
And they don't want to come out of there.
No, they're happy.
They're happy. And I tell you what, I'm glad to see that you got this O2 bottle sitting here on the table, because that's the next thing we're going after. And you got this in a nice little bracket that can be attached to somebody's boat. I'm seeing more and more guys using the oxygen, and I'm glad to see them using the compressed oxygen. But we also got to be smart about it. And this thing needs to be attached to your boat. You can't have that thing rolling around your boat.
Oh, it's a missile.
I'm seeing it.
It is a missile.
I'm seeing it.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
And this year we're going to start stressing the safety with the O2 bottles, getting those things secured to your boat somehow, keep them from rolling around. Nobody plans on having an accident,
But it happens.
but it happens. The DOT doesn't allow you to throw that in the back of your pickup truck and let it roll around and transport it. Why should we allow people to do that in the boat?
And you know what?
It's only common sense.
I'm looking at that too, and it's not a mind-boggling thing of how that works, or it can't be terribly expensive. You put a few screws in it, maybe a nut and a bolt or two, and it's on securely. It latches down where the bottle's going to be there. If you get in trouble or you hit a sunken buoy or a underwater dike that you missed, or it's not going to fly out of there and whack somebody or knock the lid off of it and go screaming away from there. That's a quality piece, and I think it should be adapted in to the safety of the boats.
Yes,
We're going to start stressing it this year. I'm not saying that I'm not going to throw a new rule at guys, but we're going to start stressing it. And something like this is going to become the standard.
I think so.
I guarantee it.
Okay,
That's just the way we're going to move.
This is from a sponsor of mine, Fish Life, and they have this fish care product. They have a first aid that if you have if you pull a fish out of structure, or if you got where you had to rip the hook out of its lip, or whatever, pour that straight on the wound. Okay, and then you got the stuff you put in your live well. Okay, and they're also going to start ordering this oxygen stuff on their website in about 60 days. I'm the first one to get one. Okay.
I love this bracket.
Yeah,
This is great.
This is going to set the standard. This is for for the catfishing guys, for the bass guys, and everybody. This system here is going to be on his website, and I'll put more out about it. But this is the type of stuff that we're going to have to start doing. And I mean, it's a heavy duty bracket. It's very nice.
Well, you get in a wreck at 60 miles an hour with this thing secured to your boat, that bottle's not going anywhere.
It's not going to fly out there, knock the lid off of it. It'll be a torpedo headed to somebody.
I've had guys bring it up, Brad. I've seen those bottles fall over at the shop. Yeah, I've seen them fall over at the shop too, and they fall over and they sit there. So, yeah, I understand that, but they're not moving 60 miles an hour.
That's right.
What I'm worried about is when that bottle becomes airborne.
Yeah, when that valve gets knocked off the top.
It becomes airborne, spinning around, hits you in the head,
And no telling how many other people before it ever gets slowed down.
We gotta be safe. I mean, the way this sport's growing and the numbers that I'm seeing in my participation for my tournaments and tournaments across the country, we just got to start being proactive for our own safety.
That's exactly right. And we're going to the effort to save the fish. Let's save ourselves while we're at it.
That's right. It is all about the fish, but if we're not there to catch them, there ain't no tournaments.
Yeah, everything's got to be safe. Positioning of the fire extinguishers. A lot of guys wants to put them in their bilge pump where the fuel tank right by the motor. That's where the fire is going to be. How you going to get your fire extinguisher in the bilge if the fire's in the bilge?
I tell you, we're talking about safety. One of the things that I think that, and I don't have the correct answer for it, but I think, say, anything bigger than a 16-foot boat should have two fire extinguishers, one in front, one rear. If
Probably a good idea.
and I have two in my boat. every boat I've had to. And say your motor catches on fire. If that fire extinguisher is mounted back there, how you going to get to it to put it out? But if you have one in front, you can get it done. And the same way, a lot of guys go up and cook on the front of the boat when they're fishing. You know, they got big boats, nice boats, and they're up there frying eggs or whatever. You know, if something happens and that catches on
Grease fire.
you can't get the fire extinguisher because it's right there by the whatever it is
Sitting on the lid.
That's right. So you got one in the back, you can put it out. To me, that's a common sense thing.
Yeah.
But you know, it's not a regulation, and a lot of guys are not going to do things if it's not a regulation. You know, until you make them do it, safety factor or not, they're not going to do it. But you know, we're going to put some programs together to work to some of the common sense stuff and see if we can make it happen. I think it's a good idea.
Well, you know, we got it. I want all my fishermen to go out and have a good time
And come back.
and let's go do it again next month.
That's right.
You know, and we have a ton of fun on my trail. If you guys haven't ever come and fish the Kansas City Catfish event, guys out there, come on down, come join us, come get in with the fun. We got a great bunch of guys.
You know what? In your area, you got some of the top-notch fishermen in the United States.
I tell you what, if you can catch fish consistently on the Missouri River, you can catch fish anywhere in this country.
And John Jameson's there, Brent Riddle's there. Who else?
It's a
David
local
Jewell.
Yeah.
tournament now. This is a local.
There's a ton of high rollers in there. When you talk about catfishing personalities, Dave Swearington.
Dave Swearington.
Them guys are fun to be around, and they're very capable of putting you on the truck every time they pull into a fish. You know,
Justin Cook.
Justin Cook. I need him on the show sometime.
Good luck.
Yeah,
He's a character, though.
You know, the Gerloff brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just machines.
And two of the best fishermen that nobody's ever heard about, Andrew Carnes, Randy Moore.
Good guys.
Great fishermen.
The Geralt brothers went down to Tequawani last year and just waxed everybody.
Who's the guy that's fishing with Brent a lot this year?
Put me on the spot here.
I can't think of his name. Justin. He come to St. Louis and fished a tournament last year and just beat us like a drum.
Mhm.
You know, and I know he'd fished there before, but it ain't like a bunch of guys that fish there. Danny South and fish there 5 or 6 days a week. I mean, he knows where them fish are at. He just come in there and waxed his butt, sitting home talking to himself. I mean,
But, you know, I tell all my boys, I say, you know what? You come and you fish one of my tournaments, you fish it on your home water and you win. You're not impressing me that much. It's when you go to somebody else's water.
That's right.
Beat them on
And
their home water.
dominate them on their own water. That's when you're doing something, fellas.
That's right.
So all you guys out there, all you Southern guys, all you Eastern guys think you're doing something, come beat my boys.
That's right.
Come beat my boys.
They're going to be tough. You're going to earn it. If you put it on them over there, you've earned it.
You have. And just like us, when we come down to your water and we beat you guys, we earned it.
That's
With
exactly right.
with the Mississippi River Monster tournament being in Memphis and being as big as this, have you heard how many of your guys are going to be able to make it?
Oh, I'm going to have quite a few teams there, I'm sure.
That's going to be
And
exciting.
I'd bet money on any one of them.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, a lot of these big national type single events is way too far from Kansas City for people to really get there economically and without having to burn their whole vacation. So, you know, being in Memphis, we was talking about that with George Young earlier. The guys from Kansas City is going to be able to get there just as easy as the guys from Virginia. And it's going to be one heck of a tournament.
Well, you know, and I'm glad to see that we're getting some bigger events going on, and I'm glad to see the money getting up there. That's the biggest thing that I want to see. I can't give my guys enough money. I just can't do it. I mean, I'm flipping over every rock. I'm trying to get more money into my trail, more money in. And I'm so blessed we had Lund come on board, and they give us $1,000 a tournament to give away. And that's great. But it's still not enough. I'd love to see this sport go to where a guy doesn't have to win a tournament to come out on top with travel expenses and everything. You know, I mean, we'll never have a professional catfisherman if you've got to win every event to come out on top financially. It's not going to happen. Nobody can do it. Not with the level of competition, just the level of competition in this room. in this
Oh,
building
in this
today.
building today,
There's so
you
much
know,
talent here today. It's unreal.
And I would choose nearly anyone in this building that's going to do a tournament and put my money on it and have a safe bet that I would have a shot at getting my money back.
Yeah.
You know,
There's some excellent fishermen in this building today. And
the
some great
knowledge
people.
level that is here with the guys that are here that can tell you stuff and will tell you stuff
Oh yeah.
is astronomical. Astronomical. It's been a really fun show. I think that next year's show will be bigger, better. I look for twice or three times as many people to come in and have twice as many vendors next year.
I've never shaken so many hands and handed out so many business cards and schedules and flyers
Isn't that great?
as I have today.
People are hungry for quality places to go tournament fish. They're hungry for it.
And they're looking for the right organizations to do it with too.
That's right.
And I mean, I've talked to a lot of these smaller guys. I was there. My first tournament, 13 boats, tickled pink.
Yeah, true.
Tickled pink. Oh, that was the greatest thing ever.
Yep.
10 years later, 13 boats. That's a tragedy.
Oh, you're sick.
I mean, I lost money.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
It
sick.
happens.
You're wondering about if you're going to be able to have another one or not.
You know, and just the way I've seen everybody's so nice and so polite and so helpful. I'm sad for the people that are out there just watching today and weren't able to make it down here today to see this. I mean, this is a good thing for catfishing.
It is, and it was a trip for you and I. But if they called me and said, "Hey, there's going to be one at such and such," which would virtually be the same trip in 2 weeks, can you make it? Yeah, we can make it. We can make it because it's going to be so much for our sport that we have to make it.
You know, and guys don't understand. A lot of guys don't understand. I was on the floor today, and I walked up to the CARC rep. I'm a Lund guy. I walked up to the CARC rep and shook that man's hand and said, "Hey, I really appreciate what CARC's doing for this sport. I appreciate what you guys have done with your boat. You've done a great job with the ProCat. I see that you're getting behind some of these smaller trails and starting to support them. And this doesn't even affect me, but I'm happy to see this. And I appreciate it because that helps the whole sport grow. I'm for seeing tournament catfishing grow. If it's me, great. If it's somebody else, great. It doesn't matter. Let's just grow this thing. Let's blow this up.
Let's make it happen. That's exactly right.
You know, let's just do this thing."
Well, Brad, appreciate you coming on the show with us. This is your
appreciate you having
second time. We're going to have you on some more.
right.
When we get closer to some of your big events, give me a call. We'll try to set up a date.
right.
And maybe we split a show where we got 30 and a half of it with you and half of it with somebody else so we don't tie up all your time. But thanks so much for spending your day with Catfish Weekly.
Yeah. Thank you a lot.
All right, buddy. Talk to
Appreciate
you
it.
soon,
Thanks,
Brad.
Jeff.
Thanks for coming on, man.
We're going
Thank
to
you.
shut her down for a little while, take a little break. If we got enough interest, we'll try to do one more before the day is over. Stay tuned for watching Catfish Weekly.